The extreme deadly heat across 23 states, 94 million from Oklahoma to the East Coast, feeling the temperatures rise. Firefighters overcome. Our reporter with an infrared camera showing what it's like to live and work surrounded by the searing heat. And now the major change coming for millions. Calling out President Trump, top Democrats blasting the president as a racist or worse, as President Trump digs in on his attacks against 4 Democratic congresswomen, calling them weak and insecure. Officer kidnapped, the wild traffic stop, a driver allegedly armed, trying to get away, taking an officer with him, dragging him in his pickup truck for nearly a mile. New images showing the moment Iran seizes a British tanker, raising the Iranian flag, and we're now hearing the orders as they prepare to board the ship. Street clashes, the new protest on the streets of Hong Kong against China, police launching tear gas into the crowd. Stabbed on stage, the international star attacked. Police now releasing the moment it happened. News on the actor's condition tonight. And True Colors, the firefighter, born colorblind, getting an unforgettable gift from his Firehouse. His one wish, to see the American flag in all its glory. Tonight, the moment it happened.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Tom Llamas. And we begin tonight with the deadly heat. Alerts across 23 states and the new severe storm threat hours from now. Several firefighters overcome by extreme heat here in New York. The weather taking a major turn in the Midwest. Dangerous thunderstorms breaking, the heat wave leaving about 500,000 customers without power in Michigan and Wisconsin. And look at today's numbers on the East Coast. Temperatures feeling like more than 100 degrees in D.C., Philly, and New York. All of that about to change over the next 24 hours. ABC's Kaylee Hartung leads us off.
This blistering heat wave sending emergency crews rushing to a Virginia swim meet. At least 20 people sickened by heat exhaustion. But in New York, it was the first responders who needed help. Extreme heat blamed for 3 firefighters' injuries. More than 94 million people from Oklahoma to Maine enduring potentially life-threatening conditions. Many of them while at work, even on a Sunday. At Washington's Dulles Airport, this sign reminding crews to stay hydrated.
We don't want to see people having heat strokes. We don't want to see people, pulled off the ramp.
Baseball fans coming prepared to Yankee Stadium.
If you don't open it, you can take it inside.
This fan struggling before the game even started. We met Keisha Rodriguez outside.
How good has business been for you today?
It's been really good today. I've been selling more drinks than hot dogs.
Holding a cool, wet towel to her face, she's been out here since 8 a.m. And she may be outside for 10 hours. When we spoke to her, the temperature near her cart was over 120 degrees.
The sun's making it hot, but this boiler is making you even hotter.
Even hotter.
Relief from the heat coming with a cost. In Florida, at least 8 beachgoers were injured when lightning struck. And hundreds of thousands in Michigan are still without power after strong storms whipped through the Midwest.
And Kaylee Hartung joins us now live outside of a hospital. Heat exhaustion or worse, a reality, and we saw firefighters battling that along with that hot dog vendor, many who are outside today.
And that's right, Tom. And medical experts tell me people should be on the lookout for symptoms like nausea, confusion, dizziness. This heat wave is set to end in the next 24 hours for millions. Not soon enough, though, Tom.
That is so true. All right, Kaylee, thank you for that. Let's get right to ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano with the forecast. Rob, good evening.
Good evening, Tom. There is some relief. We're going to have some severe weather with that as well. The problem has been the recovery at night. We haven't really cooled down. That's going to be an issue again tomorrow. We have heat warnings in effect right now across a wide swath of the East Coast and the Midwest. Those will go out of effect tonight, but temperatures are feeling like up and over 100 degrees right now. Huge difference when you go back to Chicago. They feel a good 30 degrees cooler today than this time yesterday. So there's your relief. We put the maps into motion. We see the front pushing towards the east. With that will be some thunderstorms, but I think some heavy rain with that will get into the eastern cities, D.C., Boston, up through New York tomorrow night, and into Tuesday. We could see some heavy rain, and because of that, flash flood watches are out. After that, temperatures are dropping a good 20 to 30 degrees. So after some of the records that we set this weekend, we'll get back to temperatures that will be at or potentially slightly below normal as we get to midweek. That will certainly feel good, but we'll have to deal with the rain first. Tom.
We'll stay tracking it all. All right, Rob, thank you. Let's turn to politics now. President Trump launching into a second week of attacks against 4 Democratic congresswomen, calling them weak and insecure. The president unable to quiet the firestorm over the "send her back" chant at his rally in North Carolina, claiming he didn't like it, then calling the crowd, quote, incredible patriots. 2 top Democrats today blasting President Trump as a racist or worse. Here's ABC White House reporter Tara Palmieri.
Tonight, President Trump back to his relentless attacks against 4 minority congresswomen. This time tweeting, "I don't believe the 4 congresswomen are capable of loving our country. They are destroying the Democrat Party, but are weak and insecure people who can never destroy our great nation." The president sparking outrage for standing by while a North Carolina crowd chanted "send her back" about Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
Omar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds.
It was 1 week ago when the president tweeted that Omar and 3 other congresswomen should go back to where they came from, despite all being American citizens. Democrat and civil rights icon Elijah Cummings saying the tweet is a disturbing return to the past.
Do you believe President Trump is a racist?
I believe he is, yes, no doubt about it. When I hear those things, it takes me back.
Presidential candidate and Senate Democrat Cory Booker going further.
This is a guy who is worse than a racist. He is actually using racist tropes and racial language for political gain. He's trying to use this as a weapon to divide our nation against itself.
The president's campaign advisor rejecting the accusations.
Look, I have worked with President Trump for 2 years, and he is not a racist.
But one of Trump's top advisors saying the attacks are justified.
Let me just cut to the heart of the issue. These 4 congresswomen detest America as it exists, as it is currently constructed. They want to tear down the structure of our country.
Tara Palmieri joins us now from New Jersey, where the president spent his weekend. And Tara, this week promises major headlines with another front. Special counsel Robert Muller testifying before Congress on Wednesday. Top Democrats are signaling that they have a strategy to get more from Mueller than just what was in his report.
Tom, that's right. House Judiciary Chair Jerry Nadler said he hopes to get some straight answers out of Mueller by pointing to specific pages in the report and then asking if the president did what was described and if he would consider that to be obstruction of justice. Now, as for President Trump, he said he doesn't plan to watch. Tom?
Tara Palmieri for us tonight. Tara, thank you. Overseas now, the rising tensions in the Gulf. Iran releasing new video of the moment it seized a British flag tanker. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard giving orders to the crew just before boarding that ship. The British now accusing Iran of risking an international crisis. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, new details on that dramatic capture of a British-flagged oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. New video released by Iran appears to show the empty deck of the British vessel and an Iranian flag hoisted from the ship's bridge. The 23-person crew nowhere to be seen. Iranian speedboats seen circling the British tanker near the Iranian port where it's being held. In this newly obtained audio, listen to the exchange between the crews.
If you obey, you will be safe. Stena Imperial, this is British warship Foxtrot 236.
You are ordered change your course to 360 degrees immediately.
The ship was captured Friday as masked Iranian commandos dropped down from a helicopter onto the tanker. Iranian officials say the British vessel violated international maritime laws. The British government says Iranians call this retaliation for the UK's July 4th seizure of an Iranian tanker it believed was headed to Syria, a breach of EU sanctions.
They see this as a tit-for-tat situation following Grace 1 being detained in Gibraltar. Nothing could be further from the truth.
Iranians say Brits boarded their ship just as dramatically.
And Stephanie Ramos joins us now live from Washington. Iran now saying that seizure is payback?
That's right, Tom. A top Iranian official is speaking out, hinting that the seizing of that British tanker is indeed retaliation. He says the British pirated an Iranian tanker just a few weeks ago, so the Revolutionary Guard's response on Friday was appropriate. Tom.
Stephanie Ramos with those new developments for us. Stephanie, thank you. Now to breaking developments out of Puerto Rico. Governor Ricardo Rosselló speaking just moments ago amid calls for his resignation. Protesters coming out by the thousands this weekend, outraged over his offensive comments in a group chat leaked to the public. 1 million people expected to take to the streets tomorrow. ABC's Victor Oquendo is there in San Juan.
Tonight, mounting pressure for Puerto Rico's embattled governor, Ricardo Rosselló, to step down as tens of thousands continue to take their outrage to the streets. The anger stemming from a group chat leaked more than a week ago between the governor and his inner circle. Since then, protesters at times swelling into the hundreds of thousands taking their demands near the governor's front door. In some instances, clashing with police, tear gas deployed in response.
When do you think these protests will stop? I think it'll stop when Ricky resigns.
The governor reportedly meeting with leaders of key agencies today. This after his press secretary resigned earlier, upset because she says she was called corrupt in front of her young son. Others in the governor's inner circle leaving their posts because of those nearly 900 pages laced with sexist and homophobic language. In one exchange, an aide mocking dead bodies piled up at a morgue from Hurricane Maria.
The current governor and his administration here are corrupt at their core.
Some U.S. officials backing calls for Rosselló to resign. But tonight, protesters preparing to up the ante, the island bracing for the biggest demonstration yet.
Tom, the governor addressed the island moments ago. He said he will step down as leader of the party, but he will stay in his role as governor. He will also not seek re-election next year. Tomorrow, about 1 million Puerto Ricans are expected to hit the streets, demanding he step down once again. Tom?
An expected million to hit the streets. All right, Victor Oquendo for us in San Juan. From the unrest in Puerto Rico to the violent clashes in Hong Kong, riot police firing tear gas and rubber bullets into the crowd, demonstrators throwing rocks and bottles at officers, tens of thousands taking part in today's protest, demanding the official withdrawal, an extradition bill with China, and democratic reforms in Hong Kong. Next tonight, the new developments in the murder mystery involving an American woman and her boyfriend. The couple found dead near a highway in Canada. A witness coming forward telling police what she saw, and a husband and wife who may have been the last to see them alive. Here's ABC's Zachary Quiche.
Tonight, new developments in the brutal murders of a young American woman and her boyfriend in British Columbia. An Australian news agency is reporting that a witness has come forward saying she saw a suspicious man arguing with 24-year-old China Dees and her 23-year-old Australian boyfriend, Lucas Fowler, before they were found dead last week. And for the first time tonight, we're hearing from this woman and her husband, a mechanic who offered to help the couple. They were the last people to see them alive.
We were there to help them. It just blows my mind that on that same highway there could be so good, but yet so evil. It just, I don't know.
Police found the couple in this blue van they were driving on this stretch of road on Monday morning. Investigators think the van broke down, but don't know what happened next and aren't saying how the two were killed. Dees was from North Carolina. Her family says the two met in Croatia and shared a love for travel. Police say they found a third body several hours away from where the couple was found killed. They have not made a connection between the two cases, but right now they're working on a sketch for a suspect in the couple's death. Tom?
Zachary, thank you. Now to the headline sparking outrage in Pennsylvania. A school district under fire for sending a threatening letter to parents demanding they pay their children's outstanding lunch bills or risk them being taken away and sent to foster care. Here's ABC's Ariel Reshef.
Tonight, a school district under fire for serving up that threat to parents. Pay for your kids' lunch or you could lose them.
This, to me, is terrorizing children and families, and it was just so unnecessary.
The notice sent out by a northeastern Pennsylvania school, warning families who may have an outstanding balance for meals, their kids may be placed in foster care. Some who received the note owing just $75. A school solicitor questioning parents' priorities.
Where'd that other $75 go? Did it go to cigarettes? Did it go to alcohol? Did it go to lottery tickets? That's right. We don't know that.
But some members of the Wyoming Valley West School Board saying the harsh messaging was a mistake.
The foster care issue, it just had me. I couldn't believe that that's what it said.
Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey calling the letter callous, saying no child should have to imagine the horror of being ripped away from their parents because their family is struggling economically.
Since firing off the threat, the school district has received just $500 of the $22,000 owed.
It could have been toned down.
That school board divided, some still standing by the rhetoric.
Failure to properly provide for your minor child's nutritional needs certainly seems to me on the scale of relativity to be a more serious offense.
And by law, the school is required to feed its students no matter how much their families owe. And Tom, some of the $500 that was paid back to the school was actually given by anonymous donors.
All right, Ariel, thank you for that. And back now with the shocking moments caught on camera. An international movie star stabbed on stage. A man lunging at him with a knife. A violent scuffle breaking out. Here's ABC's Marcy Gonzalez.
It looks like one of his big screen fighting scenes. But this is a real attack on actor Simon Yam. Witnesses recording it, Chinese officials posting an image online. The Hong Kong star, who's appeared in more than 125 movies, including alongside Angelina Jolie in Lara Croft Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life.
And now we have to kill you.
On stage at an event in southern China this weekend, when you see a man run up and stab him repeatedly. The suspect put in a chokehold as security guards rush in. The 64-year-old veteran actor rushed to a hospital where he underwent what's being described as minor surgery. The alleged attacker is in custody. Police say he has a mental health disorder. And tonight we're told Yam is expected to make a full recovery. Tom?
Scary moments there on stage. All right, Marcy, thank you for that. Time now for our index and the search for a 29-year-old mother in El Paso, Texas. Police now fearing she could be in danger and are asking for your help. Erica Gaydon missing for more than a week, last seen at a concert. Her date claiming they parted ways and she called an Uber, but her family saying that doesn't sound like something she would do. Also, she has a 7-year-old son and would not just abandon him for a week. Authorities now asking anyone with information to come forward. And a wild ride in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Police called to check out a man sleeping inside of a running pickup truck with no license plate, allegedly finding him armed with a gun.
Don't reach for that gun. Understood? Okay, you're gonna step out. Don't do it.
Police say that suspect refusing to surrender, yanking one of the officers into his truck and taking off. You see it right there, swerving down the highway. Half the officer's body still hanging out of the vehicle. That suspect crashing head-on with another car. Police in hot pursuit finally caught up to him with their handcuffs. That suspect now charged with aggravated assault, but also kidnapping of an officer. And a serious consumer warning tonight. Sandwiches and salads sold at both Fresh Market and Target, two very popular stores, now being recalled nationwide because they may be contaminated with listeria. Affected products include Thai lobster salad sold by the pound, several brands of egg and tuna salad, as well as deviled egg sandwiches. Use by dates between August 2nd and 12th. If you've bought any of those, throw them out or return them for a full refund. Finally tonight, first responders are trained to expect the unexpected, but what happened at a firehouse just outside of Atlanta stunned one young firefighter so much it brought him to tears. It's America Strong.
Dang it. That's firefighter Spencer Carradine, realizing his firehouse has just pulled a fast one on him. The reason everyone is gathered is to give Spencer something special.
We all pitched in.
Spencer knows exactly what he's been given. Glasses, usually worth hundreds of dollars, that will help him see colors. Spencer was born colorblind, something he recently shared with colleagues, saying he'd like to see the American flag in all its glory. So his fellow firefighters made that happen as well. And here is the moment that stopped Spencer in his tracks. Spencer not only looking at the flag, but all around, the sky, the trees, overcome with emotion, speechless, until he said this.
Yes, it's different.
And then come the laughs. A friend wanting to make sure they didn't get ripped off on the glasses. Today we spoke with Spencer about everything that was going on inside of him.
It's compared to nothing like I'd seen before. I didn't know what to say. I was overwhelmed. I was confused. I've never seen anything like that before. It's like my head exploded. I still don't even know how to put it in words. It was beautiful.
Beautiful is right. We thank Spencer for sharing that story. We thank you for watching. I'm Tom Yamas in New York. GMA first thing in the morning. David Muir is right back here tomorrow night. Have a good night.